data. So I pursued as a cloud engineer. I am a solution architect. I'm a certified solution architect. Yeah, this is from my side. I have like work on in AWS as a cloud provider. Work in AWS. I have experience like I work on hands-on experience 12 to 14 services of AWS. If I name them, I can work. I have work on EC2, VPS, CloudFormation, CloudFront, Route 53, ECS, EKS, and installing the applications, any sort of hosting application, React, web apps. I have hosted on EC2 or manage the servers. Also, I have a I have experience. I also work on load balancer, auto scaling for high availability. Yeah, this is from my side.
Fine, thank you. Thank you, Parag. So now we are going to start some technical points, a technical kind of interview, technical round. So let's start with the technical round. Before going with the technical round, I want to ask you, like, how many services do you know about AWS services? Can you just number it?
Okay, sir.
Can you number it? How many services?
I have to number this. I think you asked some. I have to read it.
Number it, please.
Okay, so the number. If I name the services,
No,
I have
no,
worked.
no, please, Chuck. I said, how many services do you know? 30, 40, 50, or 10? What?
Sir, sorry for interview, but the thing is, the voice is echoing, sir. I'm getting the voice from beside and from my laptop. That's why, sir.
Is it okay now? Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
So I said, how many services do you know in AWS services? AWS.
Sorry, sir. Just I will attach with my earphone on like headset, sir.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, sir.
Minute time.
I should raise
She will come now. Yeah.
today morning that is
Yeah, yeah, yeah. ये कहाँ गया है?
Okay, like you are online. Your name?
Yes, sir.
Your name? Okay, Suji, fine, thank you. So I will start, right? Just give me a time. You can just sit there. No one is there. Now it's okay.
Voice echoing.
Yes, please go ahead. Mr. Rar,
Yes, sir.
just start your conversation, right? Basically, I said, how many services do you know about this?
How many services I have hands-on experience, sir?
AWS services. How many services do you know in AWS? And Ismail should not sit in front of, like, beside your bra. Please, you can sit on side, please. Abrar is okay? Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, sir. But I think due to that microphone, what you're using, sir, it's voice is echoing. So I getting voice from that room also, sir. That's why, sir.
Okay, okay. No problem. Now I'll just connect another USB mic. Okay, just go ahead. Now I think it's okay.
Yes, sir. Now it's okay, sir. Now it's okay, sir.
Please go ahead.
I have not. Sorry, sir. I have not.
How many services do you know about in AWS? Please go ahead.
How many services? So I have work on.
I want number.
Yeah, I have work on like 12 to 14 services. I have work on, sir.
That's fine. Fine. No issues. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, out of 14 services, which services do you think that you are into good wage?
In EC2, sir, load balancer, network application gateway, or auto scaling. In RDS connection to application, maintaining the RDS database or SQL server. I also work. I have also experience on Route 53 and cloud formation. I also have Lambda, S3 bucket, API also, sir.
You're good at this, right?
Yes,
You're
sir.
good at this kind of services.
Just 1 second, sir. 1 second. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. Please try to keep headphone is good to go so you can hear properly. Interview is a kind of for the interview you have to prepare well. Your internet should be good. Your mic and speaker should be good, right? Your video should be well. Fine.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Now
sorry.
I'm going to ask you about. Can you say something about how do you save the customer money? That means I want to reduce the bill of a customer or a project on a storage level. How do you make like how do you save the money on a storage level, please? What are the options you're going to choose? What are the like criteria you can go with your saving the money on a storage?
Okay. So if the storage is like dumping the data then for dynamic data, if dumping, so I will use for S3 bucket. There's a low costing storage S3 bucket. Beyond this, I go for EFS. It's a network storage. Like I can retrieve or overcome the drawback of data duplication which we get in EBS. So first I prefer S3 bucket, then I prefer for EFS, then I go for EBS. As cost affecting also the sequence would be the same. The pileup would be the first S3 bucket, then the pileup would be the EFS and the third EBS. For the cost reduction and bill management, for getting the lower cost and high availability and durability would be get in S3 bucket. EFS we use for overcoming the duplication of data, and even like is not fixed for a specific machine or if a specific EC2. It's if I put a data in EFS, anyone can attach. I can cluster of machine, I can attach EFS. EBS is a like it's a costly. It's like fixed for one VM, one EC2.
So now I'm not getting the point. What you have said in technically there is no nothing point. You said it's better, it's better. It's not good. It's not a question, it's not an answer. You have to specify the technical point. Suppose you have example, right? And like here someone has given a website to be hosted.
Yes,
You
sir.
have thousands of files, right? Thousands of files and GBs and TBs of data. So how do you segregate where you have to keep? Whether you're going
Yes,
to
sir.
use EBS, you're going to go for S3, it's going to be EFS. On which criteria you're going to select?
So first I told like we will go for S3 buckets if we're dumping the
No,
data.
no, no. I'm sorry. S3 is basically you have to say object-based storage. Whatever the objects of my application, I'll keep into S3 because it's going to be very cheaper because it's meant for objects like audio, video, photos, PDF, and all those things. I'll keep into where? Into S3.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'll define the life cycle of S3, the bucket life cycle to reduce the size. And I have to select what class I need to keep. Storage class.
Initially it would be standard.
Storage class. So this way I can save the money, right? And what I'll do is I'll keep the dynamic data, that is code, application code. I'll run into EFS so it can save money because rather than going for EBS, if I put in EBS, EBS can be duplicated. That means it can be in a cluster, so it can be duplicated. So to avoid the duplication, I'll keep the code of my Python or Java or a .NET application. I'll keep into where? EFS.
EFS. Yes, sir.
And that's going to be my strategy, and I can save money on a storage this way to organize the data in such a manner. And application or operating system I'll run on EBS. If it is my WordPress application or if I have some kind of other application, even I can use EFS that can save money.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to store all the transaction or data on a EBS, so I want to go for what? EFS, right?
EFS.
EFS. So
Yes,
this
sir.
way we can go, and we have what? This way you have to say something on that. So how do you say that on a production level, security level?
Okay.
on storage security level, please.
Security level for storage like S3, EFS, and EBS, sir.
Yeah, how do you protect on like if you are storing data, you need security also.
Okay. So to protect my data, it's managed by like for EBS, it managed the whatever the security I go for EC2, the same security would be managed for EBS. For
No,
EFS and S3 bucket, security is be managed by AWS. That what I know. Like for public usage, I can restrict for S3 bucket. If I restrict the public access, then it will be security. And the other one, the ACL enable. If I did the ACL enable, it will be only manipulate the database or the data bucket from the owner of that S3 bucket only. No one else can manipulate the data, create, update, or delete any objects from the S3 bucket.
Abrar, like you're saying all plain English language. You're not using any technical points on S3, EFS, and EBS. S3 is basically having encryption kind of thing. Encryption. You can have encryption kind of option, right? Transit as encryption is very important, and you have to say bucket policy. I use bucket policy for security. I use encryption for security, and EFS also having encryption, right? And EFS, I'm going to bond into the private server, a private subnet,
Yes.
that makes sense of security, and I can control the security group because security group will be in a EFS. I can control who can access, who cannot access. So for security, I can use security group. I can keep in private subnet, and I can do the encryption of your data. And then EBS. When you come about EBS, again you have a EBS also having encryption kind of method where I can protect the data by encrypting,
Encrypting.
right? And even EBS is attached to EC2. That means I can protect from security group again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who can access, who cannot access. So this way, there's going to be security comes. Don't say in a normal, in a plain language. You need to use the futures and the technical words. Whenever interviewer saying something, you have to see. You have to use technical points, right? One.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So now, next one is going to what? You have a kind of option like you need to go with next option. So how do you make like here on an EC2, like servers? Talking about servers now. So now I want to deploy database, right? I want to deploy database. So which service is best for you, whether RDS service or EC2 service? What you will choose?
For storing the data, sir.
I said RDS, database. I'm talking about database, right? Talking about database. Are you going to use EC2 service or are you going to go for RDS service?
Sorry, sir.
My
I have not
customer, like
understood.
here the customer is saying that I want to run database on cloud, Amazon cloud. You have a two option. You can go for RDS or you can go for EC2. So how do you go?
Sir, sorry, sir. I am not
On which
getting a
criteria?
clear voice, sir. Due to my laptop problem, I don't know, sir. I can sit that same room, sir. If you want, I can give the answer from the same room, sir. Online it would be possible because my laptop is not having the proper noise system, sir.
Welcome, please.
Okay, sir.
Quickly you can come. Please listen, question answers. It's very important too. You can answer it. Listen the interview. You'll have it. You whenever you want to be smart, you have to check others what is going on. Keep up something. Play back again. So fine. You're not in laptop or something. Okay. Use Smile laptop. Brian, please connect. Interview. You have to prepare your internet properly. You have to prepare your mic, speaker, and video. It's very important in interview. You cannot get excuses. Please switch on the video, please, Abrar. Go ahead.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for connecting again. So no worries. So
Sir, sorry for the disruptions.
Please can you just mute your audio's speaker? Speaker should speaker, not mine. Speaker should be. So fine. Now start clicking on what I said. My customer wants to set up a database, and they are confused that whether to go for RDS or EC2. On what basis you are going to choose this? What criteria you are going to select EC2 or RDS?
Sir, EC2 I go for hosting an application. Hosting an application, I will go for like I want the server to do some functionality like creating, hosting a website, deploying my website. For RDS, I go for storing the data. RDS in AWS, we can store the data by in RDS by using SQL Myra, PostgreSQL we can use. For storing the data, I will go for RDS. For making a relationship between the database, I go with RDS. Or hosting a application or doing some sort of testing or deployment thing, I go for EC2.
So what do you mean to say that? Which is very easy and which is very cost effective? Please tell me.
Cost effective or easy, depending on scenario, I can say.
Okay.
For like as I said, for deploying, for the customer, if want to store the data, if want to store the data in the not in the object format, you want to store in the format of table format, that I will go for RDS because it made a relationship between the tables. If the client or the customer want to host the application,
if you go for EC2, you cannot have a database over there.
I have a database. I have a database, like it's a server by database.
There also database. There is a table and there is a table, right? Then how do you make a decision? I'm saying
by using cost, EC2, it would cost. For RDS, it won't. RDS is fully managed by AWS.
Sorry.
RDS is fully managed by AWS.
So what do you need to say?
It's cost effective. If I use more, then AWS will give me more offers. For cost cutting, I can go with RDS. If I made a same database in EC2 while using a EC2, I have to manage all the server insertion, deletion. I have to manage on the server. If I stop the EC2, then all the data and all the database has been gone. But in RDS, it stored the data. If the power is gone or the connection or something has been some disaster has been managed, because we have standby also. Active passive would RDS work on active passive, so we have standby also. We can make replica, but in EC2 we won't do that. We can't do that. If we do also by using a cluster of machines, this is costly.
Okay, you want to say that it's going to be costly and maintenance more.
Yes, sir.
And you don't want to go that cheaper is going to be easy and cheaper and faster.
To be
A
RDS.
lot of maintenance. You can go for easy. Go for what?
RDS.
That's fine. Wonderful. So have you worked with RDS?
Yes, sir. I have.
Can you give like example like what you have deployed?
I have deployed one application, sir. The application, I will give the scenario what application would work. It's an application. It's a login form. If the application authenticate from retrieving the data from RDS database, it retrieve the data in. It evaluate or it validates the data, whatever the username password I put, it goes to a redirect to the next page. The next page will be connected to a database. So I deployed one simple application which validate username and password by retrieving the data from RDS SQL database.
Okay, give me a scenario like here. My customer is basically opting for a kind of, they want to access the website through a kind of name, their own custom name. They have a history over there. And what exactly they want, they hosted a website on Amazon, but domain registration you're good at it. And now the hosted website is available on EC2 like a machine, a cluster, EC2 cluster. And what exactly they want is, they want that all the users, public users, the production environment, they want to access work through name.
Okay.
And they need security, they need no problem. They have, it's a global application. It's not a local application, a global application. The application is accessed by worldwide.
Okay.
It's a global application and it needs security because it's having money transaction.
Okay.
right? And the business sensitive application,
Okay.
security I require, I want it should be I want it should be accessed through custom domain.
Okay. So my application is
What are the services you're going to take first?
so my application is hosted in
What are the
EC2.
services? You have to set up entire infrastructure for the customer. They said the application is global. They need more security on this. Okay. And third, they need cost efficient kind of facility, and they need high availability of the application. High availability of the application, and data need to be backup. Data need to be what? A backup. That means durability should be there.
Okay, sir.
Whatever the data is going to be uploaded on like hosting on cloud, it needs to be backup.
Okay, sir.
So listen properly, and you have to understand, you have to do from scratch. And you
Yes.
have to say what are the services I'm going to use for this scenario, and this service for what purpose I'm going to use.
Okay, sir.
First, what are the services, and this service for what purpose, security, high availability, or durability, or whatever you want to say.
Okay, sir.
Right, and clustering, whatever you want to say, just say specify in a clear manner.
Okay, sir.
Quick.
Okay, sir. So, first, the services what we can use for high availability or globally putting the application or doing the more security on the application. Why I will host, well, as I'm saying, like what as a cloud engineer, what I will do, I will host my application in EC2 by using the load balancer. I can make it highly available, or it's a manageable website by using load balancer or auto scaling. I can do that. I did load balancer. I will attach with CloudFront. By using CloudFront, it is globally accessible. The application and the website become globally accessible, because what CloudFront do, it will put the application in every edge location of the globally, every edge location of globally. So the globally website can be accessible. User experience get more enhanced. And by using Route 53, any custom domain or any third-party domain can be connect to by using Route 53. So the high availability, or regarding the security, we have SSL certificate is provided by AWS. We have WAF, or we have Origin Shield that enhance the security.
So what are the services you said? How many services? Numbers?
Sir.
How many numbers?
EC2,
Number.
load balancer.
You know that when interview asks number, you're expert. Or if you're taking time, you just confuse yourself, right? Number is very
Six.
important.
Six, sir.
6 services.
Yes, sir.
What are they? Please? Number 1.
EC2, load balancer, auto scaling, SSL certificate by certificate manager, CloudFront.
Okay.
Yes, sir. CloudFront and Route 53, sir.
Not 50.
Yes, sir.
So you do not require 3 EFS for the project.
Sir, I'm hosting my website in EC2, sir.
Costing is customer criteria, right? Whenever you're hosting a website, every website will application will have some word, business data, and then like user data.
Yes, sir.
So whenever you have a business data, you have some kind of these things. Basically, you have objects in an application.
Yes, sir.
Like Flipkart having audio, videos, photos, a lot of things are there, product photos. So how do you got to?
If the data is static, no, sir. If the data is static, then I go with S3 bucket. If the data is not static, if there is a website I have to host, dynamic website, if I have, or dynamic content if I have to host, then I will go for EC2. If the data is static, then the content is static, then I go for S3 bucket. It's like more cheaper and cost effective, and high available and durable also.
Fine. So you need to make a strategy of how do you save the cost.
Yes.
So the customer says a lot of things, high availability in global application. They said there's going to be a custom domain name should be used. So you have to say the services in such a manner. You have to say in this for this execution to make this availability and all this required kind of architecture. So I'll go for what? S3 EFS, and I'll go for EBS. I'm going to go for EC2 service. I'm going to go for Auto3, Cloud Runner. I'm going to go for ELB, and I'm going to take EBS snapshot,
Yes, sir.
snapshot,
As a backup.
and snapshot, and I'll go for Lambda service also.
Yes, sir.
And even like here, I'll go for IAM services.
Yes.
IAM services in this, and I need to go for certificate manager. I need to go for Sheen or web application firewall.
Fine.
These are the services I'm going to use for the project requirements for the project requirement. When they say security required, they need to put security more on the application. So I'll go for Sheen, web application firewall, and SSL.
SSL certificate.
That means I want that regional certificate by using certificate manager.
Yes.
So that makes sense that my data is going to be protected, that my application is protected from a hacking.
Yes, sir.
So now SSL is going to be protect from your man-in-the-middle attacks.
Yes, sir.
Who want to change my data contains or tempered my contains
Yes, sir.
when in transit mode, when the data is in transit mode. Transit means flow.
So,
And if they are attacked, data reduce attack. Then it is like here, distributed denial of services. If any kind of attack, application SQL injections or DDoS attack, it can be protected by Sheen and web application firewall.
yes.
So that's why I was keeping this kind of to protect attacks to my
More
application.
security.
So in this scenario, I'll go with this. Again, we have a security group, NSCL. On an NSCL is a subnet level firewall, and security group I'll keep into what? Host level firewall.
Yes, sir.
That means I have a multiple layer of security. I'll
Yes.
have a multiple layer of security so that my application can be protected.
Yes, sir.
Coming to the performance, as you said, that global application. So I would like to deliver the application through a cloud platform, which can do a kind of content delivery system very well with a low, ultra low latency.
Yes.
Edge location. So I'll go for global
CloudFront.
CloudFront. And when you say something about the performance, right? When you say the performance, high availability. So I'll prefer to go ahead with your a kind of ELB, and your CLE which can maintain the capacity automatically, and ELB is going to be distribute that particular load, incoming load, in a,
Yes.
a very faster manner. Because network load balancing is going to be very faster than your application load
Application load
balancer. Depending on the situation, I use application load balancer or network
Network load balance.
Okay, and now, so I use network load balancer, and what I do is here for high availability, and even I want to make a backup from a kind of snapshot. Snapshot, EBS snapshot. I would like to take snapshot a daily or depending on the business sensitivity. It can be an hourly backup, so we can do that. So by using snapshot, I do. And for making any kind of, we can say about again, if I want to have a regional, across region also I need a high availability. I'll go for, I'll deploy application on multiple regions. And I'll route traffic from a route to 3 with a failover concept. Failover policy. There is a route to 3, there is a failover policy which can failover and load balancing. That means weighted policy. I can divert traffic into 2 regions, or I can make it as a one as a primary site, another as a standby site, or I can say DR site, disaster recovery site.
Yes, sir.
So this way I can plan depending on the clear picture on the project, right? So I can go with this three policies. And when you go for like saving the cost, I'll use mostly PaaS solutions. Whenever I require database, I'll go for PaaS.
Yes, sir.
Preferred first. Second, I'll go for I'll store data, the objects, all objects of the application I'll store in one.
Yes, sir.
S3. That will be the cheaper side, the cheaper storage kind of thing, and choose proper storage class with a standard or one zone, depending on the requirement, depending on the sensitivity of the data. I'll use it storage class, that makes sense. And I'll choose properly, wisely on EC2 type, which C5, M series, or what series I need to select.
For each.
EC2. that makes sense on a costing. I should
Yes.
not go more costly. And I'll make sure that the EBS value should be allocated as per needed, current need.
Yes, sir.
Because pay as you allocate. So I
Yes, sir.
care on that point. And the code, the application code, I don't want to keep in a cluster because it's going to duplicate. I'll keep into where
EFS.
So it can avoid duplication. It can be high durability, and EFS durability, and anything costs. EBS will make cost more than EFS. So I'll save that money in this manner.
Yes, sir.
So I have to consider this way. PaaS, as I said, object will store here, and the content should not be duplicated to avoid cost, extra cost. I can use EFS, and I can choose wisely on a EC2 type, instance type, in a proper way. Allocation of EBS should be good. So these are the things like I need to go with this to save the cost. So this way you have to say one by one. High availability what? Security what? Storage saving what I'm going to use. High availability what I'm going to use. The durability I said about EBS snapshots. And even S3 will have a kind of durable kind of storage.
Yes, sir. Level 9.
Level 9s. When I copy something, it will copy in a multiple zones, 3 zones. So if something happened to one zone, there is no problem. Again, my data is durable here.
Yes, sir.
So that's why I just maintain the durability into the storage kind of thing. Data will be durable. So these are the things like here what I can do with this kind of project, and the custom domain registration can be like forwarded from the GoDaddy external registrar. As you said, the customer using registrar, they have already registered. So what I will do, I want to register, I want to forward, I want to configure GoDaddy. So I can configure the GoDaddy to forward name servers, name server configuration,
Yes.
that is NS records,
Yes, sir.
NS record, and I'll just use the NS record on a particular hosted zone from my router tree and forward toward GoDaddy. And whenever request comes, GoDaddy will forward to that particular my router. Then every router tree I need to configure that to divert traffic or route the traffic to Cloudflare.
Yes, sir.
Because Cloudflare is going to be a best delivery system
Endpoint.
in your performance level, right? When your perspective is a perform global application. So I'll go with this kind of strategy. So I have done all those things earlier, so there's no issues. I can go with this all kind of facilities. So that's all from my side what I got to. So now this way the we goes on, right? Do you know about something about blue-green deployment?
Yes, sir.
So have you gone through all of blue-green deployment?
No, sir, I won't work on blue-green deployment, but I have an idea about the theoretical perspective, I can say.
You need some kind of preparation. That's why I said already hint. 3 days back, I said about what? Blue-green deployment. You have to make a note.
Yes.
You have to use ChatGPT, you have to use Google, you have to research. You should be a creative person. Don't go with like normal one, please. Blue-green deployment is very important strategy. And you have to understand about high availability, durability, security, performance, and all those things. Backup, how do you do that? If you lost your key pair, suppose you get a call from a customer and say that he lost the key. So how do you recover it?
Yes, sir. We can recover it by stopping the instance. We can recover that key. We can generate a new key.
Okay, have you done it practically?
Practically, I have won't done.
Then no,
But I have-
it's a kind of business, right? So I don't want kind of just guessing. Business need practical guys. I'm sorry to say this way. How can I select you? Because my company people, serious people, I need technical people, not plain English. I want to technically able to explain what the situation is. Because my team is waiting for a particular connection in an urgent call, urgent ticket, high priority ticket you got, and you need to patch it. So how do you do that? So you are not able to create, you cannot create a new generator where you have a solution. It is a one, and you can go quickly. Just image your kind of EC2 instance and launch it again. So automatically you create the class.
Yes, sir.
But they remain a kind of
Runtime.
but less downtime because you're not going to stop the machine and the cost can be increased because there are 2 servers duplicate. but it's going to take only 15 minutes or 10 minutes or something depending on the instance. But this way we can go forward, recovery of
New.
data. And the customer saying that I want to upgrade the machine because it's very important that the system is not getting proper resources, RAM and CPU. They want to upgrade. We got a call from the infra team. So how do you do that? Quickly, they want urgent upgrading of your instance.
Yes, sir. I can upgrade by stopping the instance. I can change the class of the instance. It can upgrade it.
What do you mean by class? There is no class in EC2. What is it?
EC2 like T2 micro, T3 micro. We have these types of the instance. By changing the
Can you
type of
say
the
any kind of sample, which some example which having 16 GB CPU,
yeah,
16 GB and 8 CPU?
5x 5x large T 5x large T instance type is there.
You want a T or M series or C series or what?
It depends on if I need scalability in processing, then I go for M series.
Can you give something on any name of the particular instance type which having 16 GB and 8 GB, 16 GB and 8 CPUs?
Yes, sir. I just named that 5x large M or 5x large R or M. We can go for computing purpose. If we need scalable in computing, then we go for 5x large M or R.
So MR, so what exactly? MR means they have some kind of different model.
Yes, sir.
1x large or 2x large or something. So what do you want? I want 8 GB or 16 GB RAM and 8 CPUs. Do you know about something? Instance type?
Yes, sir.
At least 3 you have to remember. M series, C series or something you have to remember. They'll definitely
M
ask.
series I know. M series I know.
So fine. Whatever you say, you have to give a proper name and you have to go with that, right?
Yes.
So fine, upgrading is very important. And now, so now I'm just stopping here. Do you have any question for me? We are going to close this session, or maybe because your team will call you a technical note 2 or something, HR hours. Okay? So, do you have any question for me?
Yes, sir. I need some feedback, like how I performance, like in what services I have to work on to get like proficiency or like good explanation.
It's good, but what I feel, I suggest you honestly that speed, control your speed,
Okay, sir.
right? Save your stamina.
Okay, sir.
Don't be very aggressive.
Okay, sir.
And the second one is what? Use technical points in your word. Don't say plain English.
Okay,
Protection
sir.
and security. No, we need technical points in a team. And I cannot say that your kind of result or what exactly evaluation because it's
Yes.
confidential.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
cannot
sir.
disclose it. So our team will evaluate and let know. You will get an email or something, right?
Okay.
No worries. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.